There are legends round here, even if only in their own minds. Forgotten, but not dead. Some have tried to stop them, but they keep coming back. Coming to entertain you. They are the Crystal Lake Soldiers.
Welcome back to the Crystal Lake Soldiers Podcast. My name's Isaiah. I'm joined tonight by Mark, Sean, and Ted. How are you guys doing this weekend?
Pretty good, man.
Doing all right.
Doing good.
Awesome to hear, as always. We are just coming off of Valentine's Day. Did you guys do anything for Valentine's Day this year?
Yeah. Nah, I'm not fun. I'm just fun. I made my wife dinner and gave her the typical flowers and candy that morning.
Okay.
And we watched My Bloody Valentine together because we always do that. So,
Nice.
someone
Yeah, we
watches
just-
it with me.
We just watched movies and went out to eat. Just the normal Valentine's
Okay.
shenanigans.
Well, Valentine's Day is a special day to me because it's my birthday. So, and I didn't do anything. No, I watched My Bloody Valentine. Everybody made a big hoopla at work for me. It was really nice.
That's cool.
Yeah, I was. You know, I'm not used to that, so that was really nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's good to get respect once in a while.
Yeah, once in a while.
Once in a while.
Nah, I like the people I work with. They're really good.
That's great. It's always good, especially if people will do stuff for you like that at work and you're not expecting it. Because, like, my work, they don't do that kind of shit. But
No.
then again, it's a huge company, so you don't expect really anybody to do that kind of stuff.
My
so.
work, they just buy a couple cakes every month and just have a list of everybody's birthday.
That's basically what they do at my work, too. Which is fine.
It's more than I've seen at my employment places. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So Valentine's Day, me and the wife ordered some pizza. It was kind of a low-key night, and then we just ended up watching Grandmother's House. So it was the first time watching that for both of us. She wanted to watch that, and ended up being a great movie. Really glad I picked that up from Vinegar Syndrome. So
I told you it was awesome.
Really
man. I told
highly
you.
suggested. Yeah, you did. And it did not disappoint, that's for sure.
I remember it when it came out, if I'm thinking of the same movie.
Good old Brink Stevens in it.
In a role
It's
completely
great.
different than what you're used to seeing her in.
Yes, exactly.
She doesn't get nude, people, so don't get excited if that's what you're thinking. It's probably the only time in
There's plenty of other movies out there.
It's probably the only time
That
in
she
the
does that.
yeah. It's probably the only time in the '80s where she didn't get naked in a movie. So I was like, she's got some class. Brink Stevens.
Yeah, she didn't have to. No, that's for sure.
Yeah.
She did a good job. She's a
Well,
nice little actress. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, she did. And actually, the special features on that disc were pretty good, too. Like when they did the interview with Brink Stevens and everything.
Yeah.
And she was talking about how she was, like, basically in her 30s at that point, and she's always played, like, teenagers or, like, sorority girls. And this is a chance for her to kind of really show what she can do as an actor. So I thought that was kind of cool, and that she got that opportunity to be able to do that.
Yeah,
So
it's a good movie.
definitely a great movie.
Recommend it.
Highly suggest. Yes, for sure.
I did watch Valentine last night, and about the last act of the movie, I lost interest.
Yeah, it is one of those movies. It can be hard to get through. It's
I hadn't seen it since VHS, so I mean, I had some gift cards and stuff, and that's one of the movies I bought at the store and from the Shout
Yeah.
Factory Blu-ray. So I was like, okay, I'll just pick it up and watched it last night. And I
There
was
you
just like, some parts I like, some parts I'm just like, yeah. I remember like the nose bleeding stuff, but I was just like, this is stupid.
Yep.
Because the cops at these murder scenes, wouldn't they have found the killer's blood and they can like narrow it down? I don't know, because
You would
you
think.
see the
You
blood
would think.
dripping not just on his mask, but it's like falling off the mask too. So I'm just like, this is dumb. I was like, oh well.
I watched that Polaroid movie. We watched the trailer for it some time back, and it was terrible. So
Yeah.
I don't recommend anyone watches that.
I am looking forward to getting Bubba the Redneck Werewolf in the mail tomorrow. So I'm looking forward.
Hell yes, I fucking love that movie.
I still need to check that out.
It's free on Prime still right now.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
you know me, I'm a physical media
I still got to
man.
check that out.
that and Velocipaster, it's worth it.
Yes.
What's
I
that
did
gift
watch
card
that
you got me
finally
for Christmas?
a
That's
while
what helped
ago.
me buy it. So I was just like, yes, I'll just use this to buy this. It's like Mark.
It all works out.
Like Mark will be happy.
Hell yeah, comes full circle.
Oh, good stuff. Well, we got a good show for you. We're going to be doing a review tonight of the movie Nightmare Beach. So we'll be getting to that here in just a little bit. But to start off here, let's take a look at just a little bit of news and some trailers for some upcoming media coming out here. So to start things off here, a little bit bigger news because they announced the cast for Kevin Smith's and Netflix's Masters of the Universe Revelation. One of the biggest reveals was Mark Hamill taking on the role of Skeletor in this.
Yes.
Which is cool. He's a great voice actor. So that'll be cool.
Yes.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so they got a bunch of other people a part of this too. They've actually got a great cast because you've got Sarah Michelle Gellar, you've got Kevin Conroy,
Yes.
Tony Todd,
Yes.
Henry Rollins,
Uh,
Lena Headey,
yes.
Alicia Silverstone, Justin Long,
Uh,
and Jason Mewes, just to kind
yes.
of round out most of the cast. So
I'll give it a shot. That's for sure, man. It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's all cool, but,
So
but give
it's-
us Clerks 3, Kevin Smith, and Mallrats 2. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Keith.
I don't want a comedy He-Man either, but that's just
No.
I don't think it'll be a comedy. I think
He's
he'll
a
respect
fan.
it. Yeah.
I don't think it will be either. So.
when they
I
hired,
think he'll
because
do
remember in
good
the
with it.
'90s they hired him to write a Superman movie, and he was miserable because they're
Yeah, I
making him
know.
do the stupid stuff in
I
it.
watched the documentary
Yeah.
about that.
It's like
Whole
add a
thing.
giant
He's in
spider at the
documentary
end.
talking about it.
And he's like, add a giant spider. That's freaking stupid. He's like, what?
Everyone
Yeah.
involved in that entire script had a weird take, man. Oh, I don't know. The documentary's interesting.
So be on the lookout for that. There's no real release date for that because obviously it was just announced in August, so they still got to go through pre-production, production, and obviously post-production on this, and with it being animated and all that. So there's going to be some work going on here coming up, and we'll let you know once we have more information on a release date or anything like that. And then the second piece of news that we have tonight, and this has been an ongoing thing. We've talked about it a lot. The Friday the 13th lawsuit. So they did do oral arguments this past week, and Larry Zerner, who played Shelley in Part 3, he's also an entertainment lawyer, kind of broke down what they discussed in the oral arguments, between the two sides on why they believe that they should own the rights to the first movie's script and the story and the characters and all that. So everybody knows that whole story. We don't need to rehash all that, but the update really came down to that they heard the arguments and that as of right now, it should come to a resolution and a decision in May or June of this year is when the court is going to make the decision on who actually owns Part 1, basically, and everything that goes along with it. So now, with that being said, that doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to be the end of the road for this, because whoever loses could still appeal again, and the next step would be the Supreme Court. Now, they don't believe it's going to go that far, and it could still be shot down by the Supreme Court if they were to try to do that, but there could still be more appealing ahead. So
Let them argue.
Yeah.
Bunch of
I
idiots.
just don't
I'm
care
happy with what
anymore.
I got.
Yeah. I don't care
I'm
anymore.
tired of
Yep.
the whole thing. So. I don't see a resolution coming, honestly, even from the court side. Of
No,
it, 'cause the whole thing
both
is going-
both parties are way too petty to let it go.
yeah, unfortunately, I mean, it's gone this far already, and Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's just.
And don't get me wrong, like, honestly, and we were just discussing this not long ago, I'm actually not unhappy about it. I mean, new movies are great and all, but so many things are done with all the franchises, not even just horror, with everything. It gives a chance for this one to rest, maybe even for a while, till they finally whatever. And then maybe there'll be something good down the road, but let it rest. Maybe there can be some fresh ideas, new monsters, new things. Doesn't always have to be just the shit we love. How about some new shit?
Yeah.
Shit to love.
Yeah, agreed. It's hard to be like a classic when you're still in the game, you know. Like the Universal monsters, they're classics. Other than they're not making the movies anymore.
Well, they've tried, but they keep failing.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
The Dark Universe.
Yeah.
The Dark Universe. That's the stupidest thing ever.
Right.
It would be cool if we could have gotten, like, officially 13 Friday films, you know, Friday 13th, but whatever. It's time for Friday to be set aside, like Sean said. Same thing with Nightmare on Elm Street, because I know they're trying to plan another remake for that. I'm done. I'm tired.
I don't even know if I trust the big studios.
I don't.
Like, the fan film stuff I see is interesting and great. But they're never going to, that kind of level of people are never going to get given the opportunity to do that shit, which is a shame.
Yeah, it is a shame.
Because most of these franchises, like I know for Nightmare for sure, they were always going after young talent directors. Like they were never going with known names and things to get these movies done. And that's part of what I think, honestly, made them better movies. So.
Yeah, because they were being made by people that were passionate about the art form rather than somebody that was just chasing a paycheck.
Do you guys think it's kind of Josh Trank's fault? Because, you know, he got discovered by just making, like, a YouTube video. It's, like, called... What was it called? Princess Leia's Birthday or something like that. It's a goofy movie. And then, it put him on the map. And then they were like, okay, here, do this movie or whatever. And it was Chronicle, and that was pretty decent. And then he did Fantastic Four, and he blew it. Apparently, he was really unprofessional, too. There's a lot of story behind that movie. I don't know what's true or what's not, true. And so, he's pretty much disappeared after that
I don't blame, him necessarily, but yeah, I see what you mean. Like
they're like, we don't want to do that again.
I think it's great that the studio gave him another chance. It gave someone a chance like that, but the studios probably are a little standoffish.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
I don't know. Were those movies coming from big name studios when they came out then? Like
Chronicle was like more of a
not Chronicle. I'm talking about the franchises we like.
Oh, okay.
Like New Line was an up and coming company.
It was independent. New Line wasn't even a film company.
It was a
they were like
distribution company.
Distribution. Yeah.
And it was independent.
That's why they still call it the house that Freddy built, because if Nightmare wasn't a success, they wouldn't be what they are today.
Right, exactly. I mean, you could argue, because, Paramount made Friday the 13th, and they're a huge company.
Didn't Paramount just distribute the first movie? Because wasn't it Sean Cunningham, or was it a combination of both, or what? I'm trying to remember.
No, it was produced by Paramount, because I could have swore Mancuso was over it, wasn't he?
That's a good question. I didn't even think about that.
Fuck. God damn it, Ted, I gotta watch Crystal Lake Memories again.
Hey, that's a good documentary, so...
I was just trying to... Basically, the point I was getting to is... More fresh artists, more fresh companies. We can't always just lean on the big companies to do everything and have the responsibility.
Give somebody a fucking chance and they might goddamn surprise you.
Well, most of the stuff that we love came from independent companies. Halloween, that was independent. Trancas.
That's where I was trying to go.
Yeah, Halloween.
Hatchet with Adam Green.
Yeah, that's from his company, Arioscope. Hellraiser was from New World Pictures, which... People erroneously believe that Roger Corman was still over the company. Roger Corman sold that company in the early 80s. He had nothing to do with Hellraiser. It was the completely different people.
Right.
At that point, he was doing mostly direct-to-video stuff with, was it New Concord or something like that, whatever the company. He has so many companies.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
So, yeah, a lot of it was just independent stuff to begin with. Texas Chainsaw Massacre was independent, obviously.
Ooh, Ted might be onto something. A quick Google search says the first Friday film was produced by Georgetown Productions.
Yeah, which wasn't that Cunningham's own personal, or still?
I
and they just like distributed it and were.
Yeah,
Didn't they
okay,
fund the rest of them though? I mean, starting with part 2, they pretty much took over.
That might be
that
what it
point.
was.
Which is smart from the big company, and that's about as big as their involvement should be.
Well, it was small budget, big profit. I mean, that's just simple simple business right there. I mean, geez, you make a movie that costs like part 2 cost what, $1 million, maybe like 1.2, and it made what, 30 million, 25 million. I mean, that's a huge
fuck ton.
Yeah, that's a huge profit on something like that. So I think up until after part 8, they were making so much money off. Even part 8 made a small amount, but I mean not as much. And that's when it kind of run its course in the 80s, and it's just like, okay, let's.
Right.
And then New Line bought it, and well, what happened when Jason Goes to Hell, and I just get depressed thinking about it.
Never been the same.
Freddy versus Jason.
I still love Jason X though. Jason X is a fun movie. But
it's a stellar movie. I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
Which is funny because that was like a time filler. So,
yeah.
To them.
Yeah,
The only one that
it
was
was.
good. See, they cared about it less, and it ended up being
It's
good.
the best out of the 3 New Line movies.
Sad as it is, yes. Oh well. So maybe we'll get a resolution. Maybe we won't. Who the fuck really knows at this point? We'll let you know as we learn more, obviously. But I'm not expecting this thing to end either at any time soon. So just along for the ride at this point. Just they can act like children even more. So
At least it gives Larry something for everybody to watch him on. So.
yes,
Because there's some people to make fun
it
of.
does.
That's what I say.
Right.
Give me an idea for a video.
All right, let's take a look at some upcoming movies and TV shows. So, coming in April, there is a new streaming service that's coming out here called Quibi, and they've got a movie that's going to be broken up into chapters, basically, and they're going to release it as chapters. But this one of the ones for horror that they're releasing, and it's supposed to be coming in April, doesn't have a definite date of when it's being released, but it's called The Stranger, and supposedly it's supposed to be like a newer take on like The Hitcher. And actually the trailer itself, I kind of liked what they had there for it.
Yeah, I thought it looked interesting. I definitely want to see it for sure.
Yeah, it looked okay. I wasn't overly excited, but it looked alright.
I don't know. It just seems like for some reason when like a horror movie comes out based in like the UK or Europe or something like that, I'm interested, and it's usually pretty good. I don't know. Maybe that's something in my subconscious. I have no idea.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It's all in your head.
That just might be that kind of, that's just something you have a taste for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
It didn't necessarily look bad. I just like the trailer itself. I don't know. It was okay. I wasn't overly impressed though. Like I wasn't like, damn, I want to see this next week. So.
Right. I know what you mean. Yeah, it looks good, I think. Having a new take on The Hitcher isn't all bad either, so
Not at all.
I
That's
like
something I didn't know. That makes it sound more interesting.
So be on the lookout for that. Like I said, April, sometime during the month, so that's coming up here shortly. So also coming up, and this is going to be later this year. This actually came by surprise because most people thought it would be at least another year or so before this gets released. But Stranger Things Season 4 is coming this year. And from what people are saying, it's most likely going to be probably around Christmas time is what they're thinking is when this is going to be
It was
released.
definitely cold and dreary in the teaser, which is what I liked about it. So I was hoping that's the tone for the whole thing.
I didn't really pick up on anything other than, they're building shit in Russia and Hopper's there. Why is Hopper there? I don't know. That's probably the hook that makes you want to watch it because you want to know why the fuck
I just
Hopper's
took
in
the
Russia.
tone from it more than what they were actually showing. I just kind of the tone of the thing. That's what I liked.
I like the song, the score to it.
See, the thing that gets me with this is that, and this is another thing where they kind of ruined the surprise, because we all figured Hopper was still alive after the end of season 3.
Oh yeah, of course.
You know, because I mean, you didn't find a body or anything at the end of season 3 when that whole explosion in the facility happened. So you figured he went through the portal. That was just a given. And obviously in the post-credit scene, they're talking about the American and everything that they have locked up in the Russian prison. So you figured it was Hopper because they had a portal on the other end. So, I mean, we all figured it was coming, but to ruin that surprise in the very first teaser, it's just another thing where they give way too much information way too early. I mean, why not build up to that, you know, to get more people excited instead of just ruining it and saying, here you go, here's Hopper, he's still alive, you know? I don't know, that just irks me a lot of times because
to
they
be
ruin
honest,
stuff.
It wasn't fresh enough in my head that I just completely forgot about that is Hopper dead scare at the end of the show. I didn't even think of that at all because I binged it right when it came out, and it was not fresh in my mind.
Right, there is something that you're not taking into account. He could be a clone. As stupid as that is, just, you know.
Yeah, he could be a failed attempt at the first. What is it? Hitler fucking clone.
He's the reject Hitler.
No way! I thought we were talking about Stranger Things, not the Star Wars sequel trilogy over here. So.
Right. Oh man. So be on the lookout for that. That's coming later this year. Obviously, Netflix will give us a date at some point. I'm sure they're gonna have to announce something soon. That now that they're getting all this buzz because of this teaser trailer, so be on the lookout for that because they're already filming it, obviously. So, and they didn't even really announce that they had started filming yet. So this is kind of a cool little surprise. So be on the lookout for that coming out shortly or later this year. I mean, now coming up in March. Actually, we covered this last year. We talked about The Hunt and how great it looked and everything, and obviously the whole controversy happened where there was, you know, mass shootings and people got all sensitive about it and they pulled the movie from being released last year. And now they came back this year and released a trailer like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and they've set a date for it finally to be released on March 13th. I'm still looking forward to this movie.
I can't wait.
I've been wanting to see this. Yeah. I mean, the whole story, I loved that kind of a story. I think it was The Most Dangerous Game is kind of what it's like, or I think that was the name of it. The older movie.
Yeah, it looked like that meshed with the Hunger Games, kind of.
Right, yeah.
Battle Royale.
Battle Royale is what came to mind for me.
I said it before you, Sean.
I'm just glad someone else said it.
You know what? And it's weird, you know, seeing Hillary Swank. Because I was just like, oh crap, she's in this movie. And I was just like, wow.
Yeah, I almost forgot about that. That's coming up here shortly, less than a month away.
Well, get ready. People are going to complain about the movie, but it's not going to be the gun thing. It's because they use the term libtards. So get ready. The far left will go crazy.
Yeah.
How dare they? How dare they? So,
well, people are going to complain no matter
exactly.
what. I mean, no matter what side you're on.
People gotta fucking understand that it's a movie and they're trying to base their characters out of what real people are really fucking like in the real world. There are gonna be fucking people that have prejudices, so they're gonna be in the movies to make them feel like they're real.
I've always took that stance that in a movie a character is supposed to be stereotypical. That's because it's a character. This is how we define what it is.
Yeah, I mean, if you can just fucking
it's completely ambiguous
pinpoint all the flaws,
you know what the character stands for at all.
Yep.
Right. If a character doesn't have flaws, they're not fucking interesting.
No. Right. Exactly. Nope, I agree.
So I'm looking forward to The Hunt.
I am definitely looking forward to that. It's going to be one I go and see on opening night because it's been a while since I've been to the theater, so I'm looking forward to seeing this. So this is one definitely I'm seeing in the theater. That's for sure.
This year's already shaping up to be a decent year.
Definitely.
We'll go to the movies.
So for just to spitball off of that, I get that, and because I play Dungeons and Dragons a lot, and a lot of it leaks over into horror. And when a player makes a character that's just, he's the best at everything, he has conquered everything in the world, and he has nothing wrong with him, that's, to me, like, that's the most boring thing to fucking play with. Like, I made a character that was deathly afraid of fucking snakes.
Like having all the cheat codes on a game and just walking through it like there's nothing.
Right. Yeah. So I made a fucking.
It's like, what's the point?
I made a monk that was deathly afraid of snakes, and we had a fucking druid that liked to summon snakes all the time. And anytime he did it, my character would get scared and refuse to help in the fight. I thought that made it more interesting, and everybody laughed and had a good fucking time.
Yep. No, I agree. So be on the lookout for that. 13th of March this year. Finally getting that released. Now coming out on VOD and DVD and Blu-ray actually on the 17th of March is an animated film called To Your Last Death. Now this style really reminded me a lot of Archer. And that kind of
the animation style, absolutely. Yeah.
Which I loved Archer, but yeah, this is like straight up horror. It looks interesting.
Looks cool, yeah. Looks pretty cool, man. I'll give it a try. I don't know what it's coming out on, but it should be fun.
So that's one to be on the lookout for, especially if you like animation and all that, and if you like kind of the style of Archer and whatnot for like the animation style, I mean, that might be something to check out for you for horror. Now, one movie that actually was released actually on Valentine's Day, they actually did a bunch of screenings at a lot of Alamo draft houses, is VFW. This movie looks great.
Yeah, it looks
and
awesome.
I did hear about it a while back, actually. And actually, the trailer reminds me a lot of, like, Assault on Precinct 13.
Yeah, I can get that vibe from it for sure. Yeah, I like seeing some of the faces playing the old vets in there. I'm ready to see them kick ass, and whether this girl wants their help or not, I'm ready to see them blow some shit up and fuck some shit up.
Right.
Look fun, so.
I'm gonna cut out your hearts.
Yeah.
Holding that axe. Oh, it's great. It does look good. Actually, that was one I was gonna try to see if my wife wanted to go see it at the Alamo Draft House because they were playing at ours, and I wish I would have gone. No, but I mean, live and learn, because I didn't watch the trailer before. If I'd have watched the trailer before, I'd be like, we have to go to this. But I didn't, and missed out on a probably great experience. Because I've been hearing a lot of good things about this movie, too. So, it's, it definitely looks good, and from the sound of it, it is good, so be on the lookout for it if it's going to be in your area or whatnot, or maybe it's still showing at some Alamo draft houses. I don't know if it was a one-night thing or if it's like officially like released. It might have been just kind of a limited thing, and then they're going to go DVD and Blu-ray, so more on that to come, I'm sure. But
it is getting a Blu-ray release, I know that.
Right, yeah. I just don't know of a date because I didn't see anything on that, but we can revisit that and parking lot that for now until we have more information on that. We can let you guys know.
Just let you know, I never park with boys. Okay.
Oh Jesus!
Come on, it's a Back to the Future reference. Come on.
I know it was.
I never parked with a boy.
Just give Ted a little liquor, he'll loosen it.
From the old lady liquor cabinet.
Oh man, that's good stuff.
Marty, that was very interesting music.
Great movie. Speaking of movies, tonight we are doing another movie review. We're going to take a look at Nightmare Beach.
1 week of non-stop partying guarantees to blow away so many brain cells you won't even remember your name. Oh, wow! Every one of these used by sunrise Easter morning. Well, I'm telling the whole school you're a bender.
I want to get off of this thing!
Welcome to spring break, the annual migration of the idiot.
Biker parking only. Get a grip.
Chill out. Look, we don't want any trouble, all right?
Edward Diablo Santor, the state stands ready to execute you as charged. Do you have any last words?
May the Lord have mercy on you.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
Drunk breakers. Thinking it's a fun trick. Sick.
Diablo's biker buddies.
He vowed he was coming back. This is yours. Assaulting an officer with a deadly weapon. That's cause to blow your fucking pretty head off. Who killed my friend? Who?
So Nightmare Beach, also known as Welcome to Spring Break. Plot of this movie, pretty basic. You have a criminal motorcycle rider who's put to death, who's framed for murder. Supposedly he comes back from the dead, as everybody seems to think, to seek murderous revenge against the residents of a Florida town. Diablo.
I love his chick's tramp stamp on
So-
her butt. She's like, I'm always yours, Diablo.
She's still yours.
The O is a heart.
Yes. That cracked me up. I laughed so hard.
Yeah, that was great. It was so fake looking too, but that was great. So the movie was directed by James Justice and Umberto Lenzi. It stars Nicholas DeToth, Sarah Buxton, Michael Parks, and John Saxon. Just one piece of trivia that I found regarding this, which I thought was pretty cool, and I kind of noticed it while watching the movie, is the jackets worn by the Demons biker gang sports the logo of the 1985 movie Demons.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Huh. Wow.
So yeah, the Demons word is in the exact same font and color as the logo
cool,
from
yeah.
that movie.
Whenever I saw their
That's
jackets,
a good call out.
I immediately
I like it.
just thought of demons.
I did, but I didn't put it like together like that. Like I didn't even realize. That's awesome. Though.
Just not as astute as we are,
Yeah.
Sean. That's okay.
Now, I know that we were talking a little bit off the podcast about the movie and just kind of the whole vibe of the movie and how a lot of it takes place during the day and whatnot, and you really did get a good sense of the whole spring break thing going on, and that had a great feel to it, and it kind of had a different element that it added to this movie and whatnot, and kind of made it more enjoyable. I mean, obviously you got the TNA throughout the whole movie. I mean, it's gratuitous.
It's really
so
not
you
a
get
lot
that
of it.
side of it.
I didn't think.
That's part of spring break.
I don't remember
Well,
Yeah.
it's a lot of bikinis.
bikinis, but
more
not
than
really
anything.
like yeah.
Well, it's still TNA.
Yeah.
I didn't say straight up
But
nudity.
I mean, for the social justice warriors out there, they did have the dudes doing their strip teases up on stage.
Yes, they did. So there's plenty of that.
The movie reminded me of Hard Bodies or Spring Break, which was great.
Yep,
Just fun.
Yeah.
sure did.
It made me ready to watch some summer movies for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, so this thing just starts off right away because they start off right with the execution of Diablo and whatnot, and he's threatening to come back, you know, for the sister of the girl who was killed that he was framed, you know, for the murder of, as she's sitting in the audience watching the
It
execution.
reminded me of Shocker. threatening everyone. He's coming back.
And this was before
Right.
Shocker, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wes
exactly.
Craven, how dare you steal from Nightmare Beach? Just kidding. I love you, Wes. R.I.P., buddy.
Right. So they execute him. Michael Parks comes in. He plays like the examiner or whatever for the
Yeah,
town.
he's the doctor.
And he checks to make sure he's dead and all that. And so they kind of go on from there. And you got spring break going on. And you got...
Go Gators!
So good.
Gators rule! I love you see that guy like getting arrested too later.
Yes, that was great.
Gators!
He was still going in the
Yeah.
jailhouse. He had all of them going.
Just freaking drunk or whatever. It was great.
Yeah, there's 3 side characters I loved. It was him.
Yeah.
I think it was Kimberly was her name.
Yeah, the
throwing her little business in the
prostituted
hotel.
herself.
Yes.
She was
Yep.
smart about it.
And the pickpocket, man.
Yeah, he was great too.
The
He had
pickpocket
an
was
obsession
great.
for money, and goddamn, he wasn't getting stopped, man. Like,
Nope.
he was slick as slick could be.
Can I just say I was happy when the prankster finally died?
Yeah, he was.
He did it.
I mean, get a fucking
He was
clue,
annoying.
man.
That cop just like,
Yeah.
okay,
Once.
Sonny, it's over.
Twice back, yeah.
And then the body just falls over after he barely taps him, and it's just like, oh snap, he's really dead this time. I wish we could have
see
seen the
John
death.
Saxon play the evil cop too.
Yes. It was kind of out of left field because like before we decided to do this, I've never seen the movie before.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah, me
this is my
neither.
first time. And seeing him as a bad guy cop really like I was like finally, because he's always playing the good guy cop or good guys and it was a kind of a nice turn.
It was
to
a
see
little
him kind of just
twist.
because he does a good bad guy.
You think he's gonna be the good guy still, even though he's kind of a hard cop who may go a little too
Yeah.
far. You're like, he's gonna be the hero, but now he's a villain, and he's not the killer, but he's a villain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Made me wish you see more of him and a few more bad roles instead of always the good guy.
Yeah, definitely.
I loved his trailer.
See, that-
That's all I
see.
was like, I gotta get a trailer like that. Just nice small trailer out in the country or whatever. Nice.
Right. But yeah, I mean, with his character, it's like he didn't really do anything different than he normally does in roles, but just the way that they just tweaked some of the
He's just
dialogue,
corrupt, yeah.
he just really came off as just an ass, and it
Yeah.
just played so well with how he
He's
portrayed
what the
character.
mayor and Jaws wanted Chief Brody to be.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Right.
I want you to find those kids and hang them by
Oh.
their Buster Browns. And frame them for murder, dagnabbit. There's no shark here. It's a serial killer.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I kept thinking. I was like, man, this guy's worse than the mayor.
God, that mayor just wanted to cover everything up.
Yeah. Just keep this.
Just
money
trying to
going.
just trying to blackmail Michael Parks, from releasing what he's done.
That poor guy.
Jesus.
He's just the doctor trying to do his job and shit.
Yeah.
Right.
I want you to keep listening.
Ends up killing
Listen
himself.
to this. John Saxon got his comeuppance, so.
Yes, he
Getting
did.
Dragged by the motorcycle.
He got shot by that
And
fucking
then
gang. It
dragged.
was
And then
great.
dragged by the motorcycle gang.
Yeah. It's a great scene, too, because it was more realistic than in most shooting stuff. Like, he just pulled up and shot him. He didn't wait. He didn't
There was
talk
no
shit.
big
He just pulled
speech,
up and
yeah.
shot that. Like, that's how it really.
He's about to kill our main guy, John Saxon is, and then the biker gang shows up. John just turns around and bam, just gets shot and he goes down. And then they chain his leg to the back of one of the bikes, and they're like, "All right, let's go, sheriff or chief," or drive on and dragging him. And that's the last we see of John Saxon.
Yep.
I will say that
Fucking
halfway
asshole.
through the movie, I guessed who the killer was, and I was just like, it's not John Saxon, because I was like, that's too predictable. And then when the killer got revealed, I was like, I knew it.
I mean, I've seen this a couple of times, but I was able to figure it out about halfway. Like, because of how he blends in. So
yeah, it's just the way it was structured.
This guy's got to be the freaking guy.
Yeah.
Why did we keep seeing him? Why do we give a fuck? This guy has no point in this fucking movie.
He just keeps talking about the lost sheep. The lost sheep. You gotta pray for the souls. Yeah. And he's a Catholic. Apparently, he's a Catholic priest, but he has a daughter. So, unless he became a priest after the fact,
that makes a whole lot of sense. I mean, that could be too. I mean, you never know.
I don't know how the Catholic Church works on
holes.
that, so I don't know. Whatever, but
that definitely. I mean, I know they can have past relationships, so it's a small possibility, but it's not something that's common at all.
Yeah,
like
you
don't have to be a virgin or not married. You just at that point, once you take it's a vow they take,
vow of chastity,
and then at that point it's no more. So you could have been a dirty ass dude at one time and then discovered Christ. Now you're taking your vow.
So I can still be a priest, Sean. That's what you're saying.
Exactly.
There you go, Ted. There you go.
I found my true calling. I'm a big Catholic priest.
Yeah, honestly, with the priest, because I was expecting, like, I could tell it was probably him as a killer towards the end, just because of how much he kept showing up, like you were saying.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I would almost expect if they're gonna make him like that, for him to be a little more kind of eccentric with it, because he seemed like pretty down to earth. But I could see why they would do it that way too, because that would probably make it a little too obvious.
Well, the way they revealed it and the way they resolved it for me was pretty anticlimactic. Because it went so quick. And I think in that part of the movie and a couple other parts of the movie, the score worked against it. Because they had this music, like you're ready for this long chase scene.
Your sister is a lustful sinner.
And it only lasted like 45 seconds.
She's a lustful sinner and she had to die. I'm going to say my nip...
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I do agree with Mark with that, because they revealed him in, like, literally within a few minutes.
There's
he's
less
dead.
than 10 minutes left.
Yeah, they had the upbeat music,
anyways.
like you're getting ready for a long chase, and it's going to be like a bunch of highs and lows, and it was just one real quick
There's
high.
less than 10 minutes in the movie when it's finally revealed who he is, and he gets stopped. And then our two main characters drive off into the sunset when... It's like, well, it's just like a stadium after a big game. She's like, I won't miss it, and they drive off.
I will say, they had two directors. That might have something to do with how
maybe
the ending.
It could.
My nitpick with the movie is that most of the kills is just people getting electrocuted. I was just like, this is getting.
I love the effects though, with the fucking
cool.
burning baby doll heads.
But it was very uninventive.
Yeah.
They were all just shocked in the face.
The biker chick with her eye popped out.
We had the one guy that got choked with the garrote.
The biker chick with her eye popped out after getting electrocuted. That was cool looking.
I did like that. That was a nice touch.
The chick got burnt with the furnace.
Yeah, that was brutal. That was the most brutal kill in the whole movie.
I forgot about that one. Yeah.
I just couldn't help but sitting there thinking that's not how furnaces work.
Yeah, I know. She's gonna be real hot down there.
Does he have like supernatural fire throwing abilities?
Right.
He's a priest. Of course he does.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's fair.
Catholic priest.
Class at the Vatican.
When you become a Catholic priest, you gain Jedi-like powers and you can make things happen.
There you go. Yeah. That's one.
Nightmare Beach 2 coming to a video store near you.
Demons World. I said the demons had to be running that town after this movie.
Yeah, with John Saxon.
No kidding.
Wiped out.
Just how about how fucking ridiculously easy it was for them to take over that fucking police station? Like it was fucking nothing.
I'm glad you said that because I wanted to bring that out. I was like, that was the most unepic police escape ever. I love this movie, but I do like to make.
He just
fun of it
came in and
too.
just yanked up that fucking cop that was walking by the hallway like he was playing fucking Splinter Cell or some shit.
3 or 4 cops in the whole building. During spring break.
Yeah.
Well, they said everybody else was doing crowd duty for the big concert.
True.
So I mean, they did have an excuse.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, overall, this movie I thought was pretty decent.
Yeah, I like this.
Even with its flaws.
Spring breaky kind of get you ready for
It's
Yeah.
a fun movie.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
I like the motorcycle
And
where
honest-
he can electrocute
Yes.
people on it. But
I
I
did
thought
like
that was
that.
inventive as hell. I
yeah,
thought that was
that
cool
was
as
cool.
shit.
And that was the first death, or minus the Diablo being executed. That was the first death we see the killer do. But then, he does it again with the guy's friend in the alley after he got beaten up by the gang. And then it's just like, okay, can we have some variety? And then he's just like
That was an
electrocuting
accident waiting to
people.
happen.
It's like, can we have something different? Come on. I'll even take a stabbing. I mean, being garroted was cool. And then the guy who does the pranks, his death was off screen. We just see his dead body, which I was disappointed in because I was
And
like,
then the
that'd be
fire
cool to see.
kill. That was those are the only two that weren't electrocution, right? The garrote and the fire.
But yeah.
Other than the off
That's my
screen.
nitpick. Is just most people just got electrocuted, and the killer, he gets electrocuted. That's how he dies. So it's like, I had to laugh at the irony.
I did like how that he got electrocuted
Yeah.
because he did say he's like, those who are bad must be electrocuted like Diablo, and then he got electrocuted. I was like, well, you proved himself right. So.
Karma's a bitch.
I laughed at the irony because he was electrocuting people too, and then that's how he dies.
Right.
By the sword,
Yeah,
die
it
by
was
the sword.
Yeah.
It was perfect. But yeah, I mean, overall, I thought the movie was really, really well done for, being kind of a B-ish type horror movie. I mean, the pacing was good. I thought the story was good. The effects were good. I mean, just minor nitpicky things. And, I mean, I enjoyed it. It's one I definitely want to get.
It made me want to go to
disc.
spring break this year with my family.
Fort Lauderdale, baby. Woo! Spring break, go Gators!
Bus girls.
I think
I couldn't get over how the main guy's buddy, he was like the jockey type character, supposed to be like Rico Suave, and the motherfucker could not flirt for shit. He had no idea how to pick up women. It was fucking.
Right.
He's that one friend you
painful
hate
to
bringing
watch.
with you when you go out.
Yeah.
It's just like, dude, that's
Yes.
you're a fucking blunt asshole, and everyone here.
Yeah, just
Oh,
dial
these
it
girls
back
hate
about
you.
30 to 40%, pal.
But he did get lucky because we do see him in bed with the girl that in the beginning when the
Yep.
Eventually, everybody who's drunk and
Yeah.
most
Yeah, when
people
they're
go-
drunk enough,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what I'm saying. It still counts, I mean,
Yeah. I'm just saying, he struck out with some women that he probably could have picked up if he wasn't such a
and then he
fucking
was an
ass.
idiot who didn't notice the gang, the biker chick. She had the logo
Yeah,
on her
he didn't
jacket.
know he was
was
about
like-
to get jumped.
Yeah,
I was like, "You're a freaking idiot,
that was a
man."
setup. I'm a firm believer if you're out partying and some random girl's like, "Hey," you just gotta be scared. So leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're getting set up, you drunk bastard.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But then you had that whole dynamic between Skip and Gail, the main dude and the bartender
Yeah.
chick. And,
Yeah. She was funny to me. She hated everybody, but she knew there was something in him.
Right.
I liked her character.
No, it was good. I did too.
Yeah.
I thought her character was pretty well done. She's like, I'm not going to take shit from anybody.
She was being
thought it was awesome.
stalked going home, and what'd she do? She immediately grabbed a gun and was getting ready to shoot anything coming through that door.
She was ready to fight.
Yeah.
She's like, ain't nobody fucking me like my sister.
Yeah,
It ain't going down.
without a fight.
And then the man shows up and takes the gun away
Skip
from
shows
her.
up
Like,
and scares
what
the
are you
crap out
doing?
of her.
Girls can't have guns.
It was great. Hey, it's definitely one I got to find. And yeah, this is definitely going to go on my summer
Yeah,
rotation. That's
it's
for
on
sure.
Blu-ray from Kino.
For sure.
I bought it, like I told Sean.
Okay.
I told Sean I bought it just a few months ago during their Black Friday, so it was like $7.50.
I'm gonna have to upgrade, yeah, for sure.
Oh,
It looks great. I
I've
mean,
had the DVD for about 6 years. Or
it
something.
looks beautiful. The whole
Okay.
movie looks fantastic. They did a great job remastering it.
all right. That's good to know because I didn't know that it was through Kino. I would definitely take a look
Yeah.
at that because
It just came out too.
yeah, I want to get it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It came out like in October or September, so it's only been out for
And I don't think it was a limited
Oh, awesome.
thing or anything like that. It should be easy to find.
yeah.
All right, I got to find
Amazon
it
or
then.
Kino's website, whatever.
I will take a look at that afterwards. So, all right. Well, we kind of ran through the whole movie, basically. If you were to rate this movie, though, what would you guys rate it?
Why do I always gotta go first, guys?
Okay, so it was great. I loved it, and it was almost perfect for me. I can't give it a 5, but I can definitely give it a 4 out of 5. For me, it fell short. The score in some places of the movie just killed it. Like, for instance, the end chase scene.
Van Halen record.
I freaking love that, though.
I mean, some of it could have been more ominous in parts. Right, but mainly that end chase scene, I'm thinking, wow, it's getting upbeat. We're about to have a really cool long chase scene, and it ended in like 40 seconds. And there's no way he didn't see that tire, but that's a different. That's just cheesy movie shit, anyways.
Right.
But definitely will watch it again. Definitely will end up putting it into my collection for sure. 4 out of 5 for me.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah,
I'll go next.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm kind of in the same vein. I don't think I would give it a 5, but definitely a strong 4 out of 5 for me. Because, like I said, I thought the movie was basically almost perfect. It just some minor things that kind of knocks it down for me. But yeah, I thought it was a great movie. Highly, highly recommend it. Definitely going in my summer rotation for my summer horror movies. So yeah, definitely 4 out of 5 for me.
Yeah, I'll go 4 out of 5. I've always liked this movie. I've been watching it probably since the early 90s, so definitely 4 out of 5. Welcome to spring break. Gators rule!
All right, Ted, what about you?
Well, since I grade everything on just a pure entertainment level, I'll say 3.5 out of 5. The kills got repetitive when just most of it's just being electrocution, which I like the effects, but I like variety also. And I might sound like a hypocrite because, I like slasher movies and people constantly getting stabbed with machetes or stuff doesn't bother me, but that's just how I felt during the movie. I love the music. The movie was fun. I thought it was great. Loved John Saxon, loved Skip, Gale. I loved everybody. I mean, I thought it was just, characters were great. Love the music. It really was just more of a... I had more fun with Luther the Geek than I did with this one. And I think they could have probably shaved maybe 5 minutes or so off the movie in editing, maybe.
Yeah,
something like that. I mean, not that I felt like, oh, this will never end, but some parts I was just like, they could have like trimmed this here and there and maybe, made a little bit shorter than what it could, because pacing's important. So the pacing... But overall, I highly recommend it. I just can't give it the same grade as Luther the Geek, because Luther the Geek's freaking awesome, and I love that movie. But this is a great movie, too, and I highly recommend it.
All right. Well, there you have it. Be on the lookout for more reviews as they come out here from us. We definitely got some ideas from some reviews, as we've talked about previously, that are going to be coming out here shortly. As always, you can reach out to us through our social media accounts. We are on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. All of them are at CLS Podcast. We appreciate you guys checking out our episode from this week. We'll see you back here next week, and as Ted always says,
go Gators! Woo!
Thanks for joining us today for the CLS Podcast. Check us out at www.clspodcast.com or join in the conversation on social media with the hashtag CLS Podcast. Until next time, stay safe, campers.